Hey, what's good guys, EasyTech231 here. So I've been using the LG G5 as my daily driver for a few weeks, and I've treated it just like I treat any of my other phones, and now I'm finally ready to share with you guys my true thoughts on this device. Also, shout out to LG for providing me with this G5 for review purposes, and all of my opinions on the G5 are 100% genuine and honest. Alright, so living with the G5. Well, I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat this review. The G5 is a good phone. Despite what a lot of other people will tell you, on its own, the G5 is a good device. Now, when you start comparing it to all of the other flagships out there right now, you get quite the different story. Now, for starters, there's the hardware, and there's a lot of controversy surrounding this very subject. I put this phone into the hands of a bunch of different people, asking them if it was made of metal or plastic, and they all said it was plastic. Well, the phone is actually made out of metal, but LG decided to put it through their microdizing process where they pretty much coat it with primer. LG has their reasons behind this, and I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but if you're interested in why they did that, I'll link LG's statement on this subject in the description. But basically, the main benefit to you guys would be that this allows for the phone to be less slippery in the hand. Bottom line, I didn't whine too much about the materials LG used because at the end of the day, I'm either slapping a skin or a case on my phone. It's that simple. But that's just me. Now, if you're one of those people that actually really likes to use their phones butt naked, then don't expect it to feel like a premium and high quality flagship device. Now, as far as aesthetics go, I don't think the G5 is winning any awards here. It's just not an attractive device, and especially when comparing it to the Nexus 6P, for example. Comparisons aside, this phone did not wow me with its looks, but I don't think it was meant to. I'm pretty certain that looks was not LG's main focus this year, and with the G5, it's pretty easy to see that they went for functionality over a flashy fit and finish. And to be honest, I can't really blame them for that, but when you're in the market where consumers will nitpick and complain about every little detail, you really have to choose what you're going for very carefully. Now, as a person who's been spoiled by larger phones like the Nexus 6P, the Note 5, and even the iPhone 6s Plus, I wasn't too big of a fan of the LG G5's size. Of course, that's not a problem with the phone itself, it's just a personal preference, and the same thing goes for the S7 Edge. There are things to note like LG's decision to put the volume rocker back on the side after a few attempts at keeping it on the back, so I do like that. But of course, they did keep the power button on the back, and it did take me a little while to get used to that, but over time I actually found myself using the double tap to wake feature instead. And speaking of that power button, overall, not a fan. The placement itself is one thing, and like I said, I did get used to it, but it's just not a solid button at all. It feels uneven, and it just doesn't give me a nice, solid, reassuring click that I'd normally expect. And of course, that home button is home to the fingerprint reader, which is nice. It's fast and accurate, so nothing wrong there. There's also the bottom firing speaker, which really sounds nice. I was pleasantly surprised with that. It's full, and it gets pretty loud too. It sounds much better than the S7 Edge's speaker, that's for sure. And of course, there's USB Type-C, which I'm still getting used to. There's also LG's skin on top of Android, which really, to be honest, is not that bad at all. I really do like the decent amount of home screen settings, like the ability to adjust the grid size, the transition animations, and you can also hide applications, which is very important since there's no app drawer out of the box. But I do believe LG issued an update where you can enable an app drawer, so there's that. There's the always on display, which is nice, but I didn't really use it at all, and just the little things about the stock experience that I really liked. Attention to detail. Now, as time went on, some of the downsides that I previously mentioned sort of just disappeared as I got used to them. I aim to use a device and review it as is, and I try not to complain too much about what it lacks. So the G5 handled everyday uses like a boss. In fact, where I'd normally get slight stutters and hiccups on my other devices, the G5 acted like those things don't even exist. Everything ran beautifully to the point where I obviously had to mention it in this video. Of course, performance wasn't perfect, but everything that I threw at it, from browsing the web and social media, taking and editing pictures and videos, playing games, and all that good stuff, it handled it better than some of my other devices, so I was very impressed with that. And battery life was nothing to sneeze at either. With that 2800 mAh battery, I do wish it was slightly better, but I was easily able to make it through a full day's use. I was also pleased with the video and picture quality. Some people say that the picture quality is better than the S7 and the iPhone 6s Plus. Some people say the opposite. I'm sort of on the fence with this one, but it's definitely comparable to, if not right on par, with some of the other flagships. I do feel like it depends on the types of pictures you take, and I was especially impressed with the phone's wide angle capability. I mean, just look at that. I love it. I also love the fact that they brought back the micro SD card slot, because if you're like me and you store a lot of pictures and videos on your phone, then this is definitely one to consider. And of course, there are LG's friends, which is pretty much the main selling point of this phone. The fact that you can rip out the bottom here and replace the battery, you can tack on a camera module or even a DAC for better audio. This brings a whole new feature set to the smartphone game, and unfortunately, I wasn't really able to get my hands on any of these modules, so I can't exactly touch on them as far as personal experience goes, but from what I've seen and from what I've heard, they're they're pretty underwhelming. And that's really a shame, seeing as how this is a bold move by LG, and I really hope to see something great. It's really just a matter of execution, and I'm not too sure that LG did that the right way. Overall, I really did enjoy using the LG G5, and to be completely honest, it's not nearly as bad as some people are making it out to be. But because of all of the hype that was surrounding it and how amazing LG made it sound, we really expected to get more than what we actually got, and some of those naysayers really started to make sense. The G5 is a solid device, and in terms of specifications, what else could you possibly ask for? On paper, it really should be one of the best phones out right now. But if what's on paper doesn't fully translate into the overall user satisfaction, then you can pretty much forget what's listed on that spec sheet. I like the G5, but I can't choose it over my 6P, my S7 Edge, Note 5, or even my iPhone 6s Plus for that matter. I feel like LG is moving in the right direction. They just slipped up a little bit with the G5. They'll be back next time, and I really look forward to what they have to offer. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the LG G5. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to slap that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.